Today's video I wanted to talk about something called typecasting or type conversion and coercion, right, in JavaScript. So how do you do this, or what does this mean actually? So let's take an example, right? Let's say let a equals 5, let b equals 3, right? Let and I just want to print the sum of this, so a plus b, right? I'll save it, I'll go to my index, I'll reload. So you see the sum 8 is being printed, right? So that's expected, right? We have 5 plus 3 and we are doing a sum, works, right? Let's say I write something like ABC and I write here DEF, right? So if I said what is ABC plus DEF, some people would say like, hey, if we are joining two words together, I guess ABCDEF, right? So if I go and reload this, ABCDEF, right? That's just how common logic works today. But like that's how we humans think, right? When I tell somebody that, hey, you have to join two words, and that's how they do it, right? Or if you have to add two numbers, that's how they do it. But what if I had a number, all right, and I had DEF in the other one? Like when you say that, like what would somebody do, right? So actually, if I do this where a is a number data type, and b is a string data type, and I save it, and the answer is 4DEF. Why? Right? This was a number and this was a string, so why did the answer come to be 4DEF? Well, this is coercion, right? So basically what JavaScript did was it understood that one of the variables had a string data type and the other had a number, and if it was forced to do a plus b, what it will do is it will make a into a string, right? So 4 becomes a string, df becomes a string, and joins them together, right? Let's see another example, right? Let's say if I had 4 and 5 here, right? But 5 is still in a string data type. So yeah, 5 is still a string, but a is 4, right? Now if I save this and I reload, the answer comes to be 45, right? So there was a number, there was a string, it made the number into a string, right? Fine, okay. But what if I did a multiplied by b, right? The answer comes to be 20. That's because it's not a join or plus anymore, it's multiplication. It's a multiplied by b. And if JavaScript is forced to do this, the only way it can do it is by making the string data type into a number, right? What if I said ABC here, right? Can you multiply 4 with a string? You can't, right? And like this is not a plus. If plus would have worked, it would have said 4ABC is the answer. But if I'm doing a multiplication, what would JavaScript do? It throws a NaN, right? It can't do it. It just can't. There's no possibility where it converts A into something or B into something and just it works. No, it doesn't. So it throws a NaN, right? So this process in which JavaScript changes a data type into another data type to ensure that the operation occurs is called coercion, right? Well, now the question is, can you do it? Can you specifically ask JavaScript to do something? Let's say we have let c equals 4, right? and let d equals 5, right? And we want console.log a plus, sorry, c plus d, right? It says the answer is 45, right? That's because c was converted into, so c was converted into string via coercion, right? And then it just concatenated, right? But what if I wanted that the answer 9 came here, right? Can you do something? Let's say I say something like c equals number c, and I'm not sure if it will work, but I'll try. Still says 45. Oh, because c is still a number. Let's say d equals number d. Sorry. Yeah. So d is a string and I want to convert into a number, right? So yeah, this is called type conversion. In fact, it is called explicit typecasting. All right. What does this mean? It means that you as the programmer are changing the data type. All right. And there are numerous ways to do it actually. Like if you want to do convert like a number to a string, you can use toString function and all that. So let's say, for example, right, let's say I said c is equal to c dot to string, right? So now uh, this d is a number, right? So d has become number 5, right? And here I'm saying c should become a string. So c has become string 4, right? So now we are doing c plus d, which is string 4 plus 5, right? So it should show the answer 45, right? Yeah, it shows 45, right? So these are explicit typecasting, which you as a user are asking the code to explicitly change the data type that already exists by default into something else. While coercion is when JavaScript, in order to make sure that the operation happens, changes the data type of something by itself, right? So yeah, that's the difference between coercion and explicit typecasting. In fact, this is an interesting case. If you see this, if I see this code, right, let c equals 4, all right. So we had c was initially a number, d was initially a string, right? D was 5. Then we explicitly typecasted D as a number, so string to number. Then we explicitly typecasted C as a string, so number to string. Then here we tried to add C string to a D number, alright, and JS coerced, which is the funny part. What JS did was it coerced the string, JS coerced D number value into a string, So answer became 45, right? So yeah, that's the funny part here, because you explicitly typecasted two variables, but in order to make it work, JavaScript again coerced it, right? But yeah, the idea is, if you want to make sure that a number value can become a string to operate with another string, that's when you use it, right? This was just an example where I was trying to reverse uh, the data types of C and D and see how they react, and basically in order to make sure that the operation worked, JavaScript just coerced it, right? So yeah, that's the difference between type conversion and coercion in JavaScript. So type conversion is basically any kind of conversion. It can be implicit or explicit. Implicit conversions are also known as coercions, because JavaScript coerces in order to make an operation happen. But when it's explicit, it's explicit typecasting, where you as a programmer are changing the data type of something, right? So yeah, that's the video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.